In the heart of Rome, where towering spires kissed the heavens and centuries of whispered prayers filled the air, a boy named Luca clutched a small, worn rosary in his hands. His grandmother, Sophia, lay in a hospital bed just beyond the city walls, her frail fingers barely able to grasp his as she spoke her last wish. "Luca, light a candle for me in the great cathedral. Ask the Lord to watch over us." With that promise burning in his heart, Luca slipped away from his father's watchful eyes during their visit to St. Petrus Cathedral, the most revered sanctuary in the city. The grand structure, home to sacred relics and guarded by a regiment of priests and security officials, was no place for unsanctioned actions. Every prayer, every movement, every act of devotion was dictated by centuries-old protocols. As Luca approached the towering altar, a golden candle stand shimmered before him. He reached into his pocket, pulling out a small matchbox. But just as he struck the first match, a sharp voice echoed through the cavernous halls. "Stop, child!" A stern security officer strode forward, his polished boots clicking against the marble floor. Tourists turned, whispers filling the air. A priest in long robes approached, his face shadowed by candlelight. No unsupervised offerings. "It is against the rules," the priest intoned. Tears welled in Luca's eyes. "But I promised my grandmother," he whispered. "She's sick. She needs this." The priest hesitated, his fingers twitching over his rosary. The officer reached out, ready to pull the boy away. But before he could, a soft gust of wind, impossible in the still cathedral, swept through the chamber. The flame from another candle leaped onto Luca's unlit wick, igniting it in an instant. Gasps rippled through the onlookers. The officer froze. The priest's stern expression faltered. Somewhere in the cathedral, a bell tolled, though no one had rung it. In that moment, Luca turned, his tear-streaked face glowing in the flickering light. "It's done," he said simply. The news spread like wildfire. By evening, the story had reached the hospital, where nurses whispered the tale to an ailing Sophia. And as she listened, her weak breaths grew steadier, her weary eyes flickering with new life. Some called it coincidence, others called it a miracle. But in the days that followed, something shifted. The cathedral's strict protocols softened, allowing simple acts of faith once deemed too small to matter. Pilgrims came, drawn not by grandeur, but by the whispered tale of a child whose faith had lit more than just a candle. It had reignited the spirit of an entire community. And as for Luca, he never sought recognition. He only wanted one thing, to keep his promise. And in the quiet hush of the cathedral, where stone walls had witnessed centuries of prayers, one more had been heard. Do you believe this was a miracle or just chance? Let me know in the comments below. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to help spread the message of faith and hope. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload from Unshaken Warriors.